In 1960, when I started my first job at the local newspaper in Boston, I thought success meant a corner office and a fancy title. But now, at 78, I realize I was chasing the wrong dream all along. Like many of you who've lived through transformative decades of American history, I've learned that what truly matters isn't what's written on a paycheck. It took me 4 decades and 8 different careers, from a stockbroker on Wall Street during the roaring 80s to teaching the next generation in the digital age, to finally understand this. Today, I'm here to share the lessons life taught me, the kind of wisdom you only gain after walking through both the highs and the lows. Drop a comment and let me know where you're tuning in from today. And if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now let's dive into the first lesson. The time paradox. One word, the time paradox. As I reflect on my life, I can't help but think about how differently I viewed time when I was younger. In the 80s, I was a stockbroker on Wall Street, caught in the whirlwind of fast deals, high stakes, and the pursuit of more. I remember the endless hours I spent at the office, the tension of competition with my peers, and the constant rush to climb higher on the corporate ladder. It wasn't until much later that I realized what I had sacrificed in that pursuit: time with my loved ones, moments that could never be reclaimed. One vivid memory that stands out is missing my daughter's graduation in 1985. I was so fixated on securing a promotion that I allowed myself to be consumed by work, neglecting one of the most significant milestones in my family's life. I justified it by telling myself that a higher position would provide more for my family. But deep down, I knew I was trading precious moments for something fleeting, something that didn't hold the same value. Over the years, I came to understand a truth that many of us discover only after time has passed. The real value of life isn't measured by how many hours we put in at work or how many accomplishments we rack up. It's about the quality of the time we spend, the connections we make, and the experiences we share. And as we age, this realization becomes more and more apparent. There is a fascinating study conducted by Harvard in 2020 that delves into the way time is perceived as we grow older. It shows that as we age, we become more aware of how quickly time is slipping away. We begin to prioritize experiences and relationships over accumulating wealth or status. I can't help but think about how true that is. When you're younger, you often think you have all the time in the world. But as the years go by, you start to understand just how precious each moment truly is. Looking back, I can see how much of my life was spent chasing quantity. More hours, more promotions, more accolades. But now, at 78, I wish I had focused more on the quality of those years. I wish I had spent more time with family, more time helping others, and more time reflecting on what really mattered. But it's not too late. Even now, there's still time to change. We don't have to let the passage of years dictate how we live. We have the power to choose how we spend our time, and with that choice comes the opportunity for deeper fulfillment. And so, as I reflect on the lessons I've learned, I'm reminded that our most precious commodity is time. As we get older, it's not about achieving more, it's about making the most of what we already have. The question isn't how much time we have left, but how wisely we use the time we've been given. This brings me to my next lesson, the importance of finding true purpose. As we age, many of us start to question whether we've lived a meaningful life. And for many, the answer doesn't come from the career we once had or the money we've accumulated. It comes from the journey of self-discovery and the legacy we choose to leave behind. So, let's dive into that next. 2. Finding true purpose. As I moved through my many careers, from the fast-paced world of finance to teaching in the quieter spaces of a classroom, the one thing that became clear was that true success is not about climbing higher. It's about finding deeper meaning in what you do. There comes a time when the noise of ambition fades and you begin to listen to something more important: the call for purpose, When I was a stockbroker, I thought my identity was tied to my job title, the deals I closed, and the success I appeared to be building. But as the years went by, I realized that something was missing. My job had become a source of stress rather than fulfillment. That's when I made a pivotal decision to leave Wall Street and take on a completely different challenge. I went back to school, earned a teaching degree, and began a new chapter as an educator. It wasn't an easy transition. The financial security I had was replaced with uncertainty, and I had to grapple with the question of whether I was making the right choice. But as soon as I stepped into a classroom and saw the spark of understanding in a student's eyes, I knew I had found something far more rewarding than any promotion. Teaching wasn't just a job, it was a calling, and that sense of purpose filled a void that no paycheck ever could. This evolution of purpose is something I've seen in many people from my generation. We've lived through shifts in the American dream, where success was once defined by job titles and financial gain, but is now being redefined by the pursuit of personal fulfillment and community impact. The cultural landscape has changed, and so too has our understanding of what it means to live a successful life. Statistically, baby boomers like us have seen an average of 12 job changes throughout our careers. Many of us have had to reinvent ourselves in response to economic changes, societal expectations, and our evolving values. For some, this meant transitioning from a corporate career to something more creative or personal, like starting a small business or volunteering. I too found myself on that path, becoming involved in local community efforts and working with nonprofit organizations. It was through volunteering that I began to understand the true power of purpose. Helping others, seeing the difference you can make in someone's life, and being part of something greater than yourself. It's a feeling that no job title can replicate. Through those experiences, I learned that purpose isn't something you can find in a paycheck, but in the lives you touch and the legacy you create. For many of us, the next phase of life provides the opportunity to reassess and reorient our priorities. It's about asking the question, what do I truly want to contribute to the world? Whether it's through work, family, or community service, the pursuit of purpose doesn't stop as we age. It only becomes clearer. Now, after decades of reinvention and growth, I find myself looking at life from a different perspective. The goal isn't just to leave behind a career or a collection of achievements. It's to leave a legacy, a contribution to something larger than ourselves. And that brings us to the next important lesson, how self-love and respect help create that lasting impact on those around us. 3. Self-love and legacy. As we grow older, we begin to understand the importance of self-respect in ways we might not have in our younger years. It's easy to get caught up in the rush to prove ourselves to the world, to chase external markers of success. But as time passes, we come to realize that the greatest form of success is the love and respect we cultivate within ourselves. It's only through self-acceptance that we can truly give to others and leave a meaningful legacy. In my earlier years, I often struggled with self-criticism. There was always something more I felt I should have achieved, some higher standard I was trying to meet. But as I got older, I began to appreciate the wisdom that comes with age. I learned that self-love isn't about perfection, it's about accepting yourself, flaws and all, and understanding that every experience, every mistake, and every triumph has shaped the person you are today. The research backs this up. Studies have shown that as we age, we become more compassionate toward ourselves. For seniors, this shift toward self-acceptance has tangible mental health benefits. It's linked to lower levels of stress and anxiety and higher levels of life satisfaction. In fact, a study by the American Psychological Association found that older adults who practice self-compassion are more likely to experience positive aging, both mentally and physically. It's through this acceptance that we are able to extend grace to others, particularly the younger generations. Our wisdom, gained over decades of living through highs and lows, becomes a valuable resource for them. In many ways, we become the mentors, the guides, and the role models who can help shape the world they will inherit. I've experienced this personally, and I've seen it in countless others who, later in life, decide to give back through mentoring, teaching, and sharing their hard-earned wisdom. One of the most meaningful moments of my life came when I was able to reconcile with my family. In the earlier years, there was tension, misunderstanding, and unspoken resentment. I didn't always make the right choices as a parent, and my focus on my career often came at the expense of family time. But in my later years, I was able to reflect on those mistakes with a sense of clarity and healing. I reached out, made amends, and worked toward rebuilding relationships that had once felt broken. This kind of reconciliation is not just about repairing past mistakes. It's about creating a future based on mutual respect, love, and understanding. It's about recognizing that the legacy we leave isn't just in our work, but in the relationships we nurture and the kindness we extend. And when we treat ourselves with respect, we teach others to do the same. For many of us, the final chapters of our lives are an opportunity to reflect, to heal, and to build bridges between generations. It's a time to show the younger generation that they don't have to wait until their 60s or 70s to realize the importance of self-love. We can model this behavior for them now, helping them understand that true success isn't about external accolades, but about living with integrity, compassion, and purpose. With this realization, we move toward a deeper understanding of how we can make a lasting impact. As we approach the later years of our lives, it's not just about looking back on our accomplishments. It's about ensuring that the next generation has the tools they need to succeed, and that the wisdom we've gathered is passed on in a way that will positively shape their lives and our communities. And this brings us to the importance of building strong, supportive communities, connections that are rooted in respect, understanding, and shared wisdom. Building community connections. As we age, it becomes clearer that one of the greatest ways to leave a lasting impact is through building connections within our communities. The wisdom we've accumulated over the years doesn't just belong to us. It's a resource that can guide, teach, and empower others. But the true power of this wisdom is unlocked when we use it to help others grow, especially the younger generations. The relationships we build and the lessons we pass down are the legacies we leave behind. In my own life, I've witnessed how elders can shape their communities in meaningful ways. For years, I was involved in a local literacy program where we taught older adults to read and write. What began as a small volunteer effort grew into a larger initiative that helped countless individuals reclaim their independence. It wasn't just about teaching literacy. It was about instilling confidence, giving people the tools to succeed, and showing them that it's never too late to learn and grow. That, to me, was a tangible example of legacy building, a way to use my life experiences to make a real difference. Another example comes from my work with a local mentorship program for young people. Many of these young adults lack the guidance and support that could help them navigate the complexities of life and career. Through regular mentoring sessions, I was able to offer advice on career choices, share the importance of resilience, and even help some of them connect with people in industries they aspired to join. It was a reminder that legacy isn't just about the things we accomplish for ourselves. It's about how we equip others to succeed. Building community connections doesn't always have to be on a grand scale. Sometimes it's as simple as offering advice to a neighbor, supporting a local cause, or showing up for someone who needs a listening ear. The smallest acts of kindness, coupled with shared wisdom, can ripple out and make a significant impact over time. In fact, studies have shown that older adults who engage with their communities and offer support to others experience better mental and emotional well-being. There's something deeply fulfilling about knowing you've made a positive difference in the lives of others. For those of us who've seen the world change, who've lived through eras of hardship and triumph, we can offer a unique perspective. We've witnessed how communities can evolve and how society's challenges can shape individuals. But perhaps our most important role now is to help bridge generational gaps, passing along not just practical knowledge, but the values that have sustained us: compassion, respect, and the belief that we can always contribute, no matter our age. The key to building a meaningful legacy is to foster connections that last beyond our lifetimes. Whether it's through mentorship, volunteering, or simply being an active and supportive member of your community, every small action contributes to a larger impact. These are the kinds of connections that have the power to change lives, just as they can shape our own. As we reflect on the years we've lived and the lessons we've learned, it's clear that the most important things aren't the accomplishments we've racked up or the titles we've earned, but the relationships we've built and the wisdom we've shared. In the end, it's not the hours spent in the office or the numbers on a paycheck that define us. It's the time we've invested in our loved ones, our communities, and ourselves. We've learned that time is our most precious resource, and the pursuit of purpose isn't about titles or wealth, but about meaning and connection. We've come to understand that self-love and acceptance allow us to embrace life fully, making room for others to learn from our experiences. And most importantly, we've seen how building lasting community connections not only enriches the lives of others, but also leaves a legacy that transcends generations. As you move forward in your own journey, I encourage you to reflect on the lessons you've learned, the relationships you've nurtured, and the wisdom you have to offer. What legacy will you leave? How will you contribute to the world around you? I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts and life lessons in the comments. Let's continue this conversation and build a community of wisdom that can inspire and uplift others for generations to come. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, the best is yet to come.